I swear, every time I try to take a break, all of a sudden everything goes crazy. There's yet another new open source reasoning model, and this one is very interesting. Remember those Alibaba guys that made the Qwen model that everything was being trained on top of? They just dropped something new, a very interesting reinforcement learning reasoning model. It's fully open, its benchmarks are nuts, and I don't think it's actually that good. There's a lot going on with this release. I just filmed a whole video about it and was, to put it lightly, surprised at how it performs from the good, the bad, the funny, and the ugly. There's a lot to see here. Definitely stay tuned, but someone's got to pay the bills for all this inference, and it's not going to be me, so let's get a quick word from today's sponsor before we dive in. We're in the era of shipping fast. AI tools have made it easier than ever to code and ship quickly. There is a problem, though, the deployment side. As fast as Cursor might be at getting you coding, it's not going to make the deployment any easier. We have cool tools like Vercel if we're using TypeScript, but if you're on anything else, like Rails, PHP, Elixir, like these guys, you're not going to have much luck, unless you use today's sponsor, Sevalla. These guys make it so much easier to deploy, so you can get back to work on what actually matters, shipping. Sevalla's not new to the block either. If you're from the WordPress community, you're probably familiar with them under a different name, Kinsta, because Sevalla's part of Kinsta, a production-ready, scalable company doing a lot of stuff in the PHP and WordPress world. They just made it so we can use their tech for everything else. And when I say their tech, I don't just mean like their servers. I mean they figured out how to orchestrate all the other parts. Most services like Sevalla are just going to deploy servers for you. They're not going to help you with DDoS protection, CDN management, and edge caching stuff because that's Cloudflare's problem. Now you can just have it all be part of the same dashboard. This took me like 2 seconds to set up. I just pointed it at a random repo and it was able to deploy it. And not just deploy, by the way. We have a full pipeline. If I make a new PR, we can automatically set up preview deployments that will sleep when they're not used quickly, and we can promote those to production, all just dragging things around in this UI. It's so convenient. I said these things up myself in the past, and just getting your database connected to the deployment system was obnoxious. And now it went from obnoxious to really, really easy and honestly pretty fun to do. If I could get a Rails app deployed on this, then I'm confident you can get almost anything deployed just fine. And by the way, if you sign up today, $50 of free credit on your account. That'll get you pretty far. Give deploying on Sevalla a shot today at soydev.link/Sevalla. Embracing the power of reinforcement learning. Scaling reinforcement learning has the potential to enhance model performance beyond conventional pre-training and post-training methods. Recent studies have demonstrated that RL can significantly improve the reasoning capabilities of models, like R1. Yeah, we know this. QWQ is a 32 billion model that has performance comparable to DeepSeek R1, which boasts 671 billion parameters. This is what makes this model so interesting. It is a very, very small model with 32 billion parameters, but it's comparable to something way bigger. This remarkable outcome underscores the effectiveness of reinforcement learning when applied to robust foundation models pre-trained on extensive world knowledge. Furthermore, we have integrated agent-related capabilities into the reasoning model, which enables it to think critically while utilizing tools and adapting its reasoning based on environmental feedback. These advancements not only demonstrate the transformative potential of reinforcement learning, but they also pave the way for further innovations in the pursuit of artificial general intelligence. It's open weight in Apache 2. Awesome. Still wild to me that Hugging Face is the platform for all of this stuff. It's a weird place. I've spent more time in it recently, and it's something. But how does it perform? According to them, on things like Live Code Bench and AIME, it is right next to DeepSeek R1. And a lot of these, O1 got crushed by DeepSeek prior. So the performance here is pretty nuts. Also interesting to see that it's beat out the distilled Llama and Qwen, because those were both really good. If you're not already familiar, since DeepSeek R1 was such a massive model, they didn't just put it out as that massive, like 671 billion parameter model. They also used values that they generated from it to train smaller models to behave more like it. So the Llama 70 bill and Qwen 32 bill are distilled R1. They take a bunch of the answers that R1 would give to things and use it to train Llama and Qwen to behave more like R1 does. And the result is much better performance than you get without the distillation, but still not quite as good as R1, but it runs much better. QWQ is an interesting model because it is getting numbers comparable to R1, but it's comically easier to run because only 32 billion parameters. It's so much easier to run that companies like Grok can just kind of deploy it, and for the most part it works, whereas other models like these, like R1 specifically, it's not very easy to deploy. I've seen a lot of people try and not a whole lot succeed in meaningful ways. We were able to get QWQ up on Grok in literally minutes. And obviously that's how we are supporting it because Grok is really, really fast. To be clear, I mean Grok with a Q, not Grok with a K. Grok with a Q makes really fast AI chips to do really fast AI inference. And before people say, oh, but I thought they support R1, they support the distilled R1s. But as we see here, those are not quite as good as R1 itself. And Qwen gets a whole lot closer with QWQ. Let's see how it actually behaves. Here's a test I ran earlier, and if you didn't notice, it's still in reasoning, because it gaslit itself for a very, very long time. If you command F for wait, it said wait 262 times. Wait, no, wait. And it's causing even an app as performant as T3 chat to lag because it's so gaslighty. For comparison's sake, here is the same exact prompt passed to the Llama distilled R1. It still reasons, but it gets out of the reasoning much quicker. And now it's pretty much done solving the problem already. Yeah, that's it. It flew through that because the Llama distilled R1 is a really good distillation of a really good model. It's able to get an answer to that very quick. If we go try this again on QWQ, wait, over and over again. And I'm not sure this will ever resolve. So I'm going to stop now before it goes too far because it doesn't. Even a simple prompt like do a Fibonacci sequence, it had to double and triple check itself a lot. Like a lot. And if we take that same prompt, the Fibonacci sequence, and throw it at R1 Llama again, the only wait here is this, but wait, if n is 0, okay, there's one more here. Let me think about the indices. But it pulls it all together. Putting it all together, the function will do these. Cool. Things approach covers all cases, and then it puts out the result. QWQ is a little more aggressive with looping. Maybe it's just Rust, though. Maybe it's bad at Rust. Let's tell it to do this in TypeScript this time instead. I almost want to rank models by how often they say wait when you ask them the same basic questions, the weight index, if you will. Weight watchers. WAIT watchers. I like this. I'm getting somewhere with this pun. Yeah. It took 18 waits to solve this versus DeepSeek, which took 1 wait. Open weight model. I'm sorry, I can't help myself with the puns. You guys know me. I want to be sure this isn't just the Grok deployment, though, so let's try Qwen chat. I'll probably regret this. Okay, I'm now in the official Qwen chat, so any weirdness that might be because of how Grok has it deployed will not exist here. Let's see how it behaves. First and foremost, comically slower, because again, Grok is using custom chips to make their inference stupid fast. It's really, really good. How many waits are we at so far? 4 so far. Mostly because it's so much slower. This is just an ad for Grok. I did not expect that. Again, same model, same exact model. And it got through that much faster. Still had 6 waits, but it flew through it. Cool, I finally finished. And on here there was 7. Okay, so this does not appear to be something weird that Grok is doing that causes it to gaslight itself so aggressively. It appears it just does that by default. Let's give it a harder one on their site, again, just to be sure. Also, so that I'm not billed for it looping infinitely. I don't even want to think about how many thousands of dollars we've spent on T3 chat for prompts looping aggressively for no reason. Yeah, I'm the one who has to eat that GPU cost now. It's not fun. The W in QWQ stands for wait. Yeah. We can't know how many waits occur in O3 Mini. Maybe this is why they're hiding the actual thinking for the OpenAI models, because they say wait too often and they don't want to have a bad score. 2.5 max is, oh. God damn it. Leaving will interrupt the current generation and it cannot be resumed. So cute. Well, let's rerun that. Click the set as default. Real quality UI here. Count as weights for sure. I'm curious what this is built with. Svelte. Huh. Would not have guessed. If you will. Like I read 11 weights and just one so far. Wait, 2 hms. There's another there. I want to do another Fibonacci sequence while we're waiting for that to finish gaslighting itself. Now that we're using the right model. Sorry, I thought the thinking QWQ button would put us on QWQ. My bad, not realizing it's a different model. Oh, apparently these are both the same model. People were just confused that they had a different model in the picker. If you ever needed proof that using Svelte doesn't magically make your app faster, hopefully this is that proof. Do you see how it's chugging with these re-renders right now? Shit's not that easy. Building a fast rendering streaming app, it's a fun challenge, as I've been learning. That's a pretty crazy jump for their score here to pass Flash thinking and be close to O3 Mini and Claude. Okay, the Fibonacci sequence one finished with 10 weights. Step by step, cool. It solved it, but at what cost? This one appears... God, building chat app UIs is hard. Do you see that? That's a virtualized scroll container that failed. This page is slowing down Zen. That makes me feel better. That literally froze the tab entirely. It turns out updating the same element over and over again in the browser is expensive. And if you're not careful with how you do it, you're fucked. Yeah. Yeah. I hate to just keep plugging T3 chat, but our UI doesn't choke in those ways. It's kind of funny that if I want to actually show this model, I can't use their website. How about we test its CSS chops? Design a nice landing page for my service, T3 chat. Advertise how fast it is and all of the models it supports. Use Tailwind and Shad CN components. Make it a single TSX file that I can copy paste into a next.js app. I have a bad feeling it's going to loop around for a while here. Oh, wait, did it not? Okay. I guess if you give it a specific enough problem, it won't gaslight itself as bad. That's good to see. I also forgot to put on the fast. We have a faster renderer for syntax highlighting, but I don't have it on in this browser because I only turned it on in Vivaldi, which is what I use more for dev work. But momentarily, this should be done, and then I can see how it behaved. Let me go install all of the ShadCN UI components while we wait. pm create next app at latest. And while that's going, let's switch tabs because that's fine here. Write a command to install all of the following ShadCN components. That is not the right command. Okay, we'll hop into ShadCN installation. Yeah, that's what I thought it was. I was very confused. So it doesn't know how to set up ShadCN. Understandable. It's not the easiest thing. I mean, it is pretty easy. Just copy paste the command, but it's not intuitive because it's different from how you normally do things. Let's ask a competent model. Normally, I install ShadCN with commands like bash. Can you rewrite the instructions? Cool. All those installed. I'll grab these quick for the styling. Oh no, did it use Tailwind v4? Is that going to break everything? Yep, it did. That's annoying as fuck. Does... Oh, it is. Cool. Here's what we'll do. Apply the following Tailwind config values using the new Tailwind v4 syntax. See how Claude does here. I have no idea if that works or not. I haven't used v4 and like ported things to it manually enough yet. But I want to see if this all comes together. We grab the code for our landing page here. Hop into page TSX. Paste. Save. Change these imports to import each component individually. Fixed. Cool. Let's see how this all works. That was a lot of work for something that looks absolutely garbage. For a one shot, it's not that bad. Okay, I will fight you on that. Throwing this at Sonnet. It looks better than the Qwen homepage, says chat. Honestly, not wrong. God, I hate that sidebar. Ugh. How'd this do? Almost done. Just realized all of the tokens this is generating is a very expensive thing. Cool. We'll copy paste this. Need to do a shadcn add pnpm dlx shadcn at latest add badge. Just for a feel, an idea. Hopefully this helps emphasize how much less rough things are. It even added like the typewriter effect and shit. Like, there's a reason everybody is so fond of Claude, and it's not just the vibes. I want to figure out why the layout's a little fucky. See if that's like layout TSX doing some shit. No? Well, we can ask the same model here. There are some layout bugs. One, the centering of the page is off. Two, the pills are overlapping the logo text. Let me make minor adjustments to fix the centering and pill positioning. Let's see if that looks any better. It doesn't. Flex min height screen, flex column, full width. Let's undo whatever it just did. It's still a good starting point, but as per usual, these things, you got to do a lot of the work yourself to get it just right. Honestly, you should probably stick to tools like V0 and Lovable and those when you want to like mock out a UI directly. But it's a good test of the model to see how well it tries to solve the problem when you give it to it. And the gap here of quality between that and if I just Command Z back to where we were, it's pretty hilarious. Yeah, I'm just amused. What else can we test this with? Because like I see these benchmarks, but all I see when I test it is it gaslighting itself. Does it need more like context on the problem? Like, do I need to copy paste the actual content here? Solve the following advent of code problem using Python. Keep the solution as simple as possible. And once again, I will copy paste this into a different model just to see how it behaves. We'll try Lambda distilled. And it's done. Look at that. Nice, simple solution. This is still reasoning. Jesus Christ. What's the weight count at? 158. And the counts at 42. Did it break out of the thinking here and just loop infinitely? That's funny if it did. Yeah. Wait, the correct, and then it breaks out of thinking. To solve the problem, we need to parse corrupted strings. Approach, solution, explanation. It looped here. Approach effectively human. Your code is incorrect. There's a small mistake in the regex pattern. The correct blank. Okay, this is insanity. I'm sorry, I'm just confused. I'll submit this on their site again just to make sure it's not something we're doing wrong, but like, what? Sadly, it's consistent with the weirdness I've been seeing with it so far. And again, DeepSeek R1 one-shotted it, and the solution's supposed to be this simple. Does anyone else have other things this model supposedly does well? It was like when R1 came out, there were so many examples of, wow, we just turned on R1 for our thing, and it's so much better at solving these types of problems with examples. Does anyone have examples of Qwen 32B doing that well? The UI is starting to lag again because the body's gotten too big. So after far too much time, we're talking like 10-ish minutes, it appears to have finally maybe solved it. Yeah, this is the same. Is it the exact same code? It is. That is hilarious. So my weight counter took 61 weights, 10 hms versus R1. And not even full R1. This is llama distilled. Doing it with 34 weights and 1 hm. So double the weight count and 13x the hm count. Overall, bit over double the amount of gaslighting itself. I do love that the output doesn't justify itself or anything. It just gives you the code in the end. Whereas with other reasoning models, they say what they reasoned about. Here is the approach that we decided on. Here is the solution code that we output. Here's the explanation for what it does. 32B is just hands you the code. Let's take one of the right answers and make it wrong and ask it. Here. What is wrong with this code? And it's QWQ still. I don't know if that's going to think, though, because, yeah, not image capable. So nothing that released to... What? Which one is? Okay. So it's just wrong for most of that, but at least it figured out the one actual error. God, I was excited for this model, and I am getting less excited the more I dig in. Yeah, I'm confused. I would like for people who have actually seen this model do cool things to share, but I feel like we're in the peak models as a benchmark era, not models as actual quality like improvements. Oh boy, I hadn't thought of the strawberry test. If we're counting things, you should be counting the letter R. Let's give it a fun challenge. How many R's in strawberry? Oh shit. Look at that. Not quite as good as Claude's answer. Claude's answer, which is taking way too long for the website to load. What? It's supposed to be good at this, I thought. God, I hate AI. I hate AI so much. It got 2, then 3. Give me one sec. Guys, it's like, what? How does it... First off, the recents is just entirely broken now. I don't know what they did there. But recent chats doesn't have my recent chats in it. It just has all of my chats in it. The homepage shows these right. The sidebar does not. My video about how broken their UI isn't even out yet. But I asked counting R's twice. One time I got 2. The other time I got 3. Previously, it would spit out code. They had hard coded this as a special pass, and I thought that was cool. But now it's just back to being broken, and so is the UI, so I can't even switch to those. This is just a bunch of random threads from forever ago. Did they fuck up their date parsing, or did this query get screwed up or something? I'm just fucking so confused. It's actually impressive how broken and bad Claude's whole everything is. Their models are good. But, what? Just refresh? I refreshed multiple times, bro. Command-Shift-R and everything. Nothing. Maybe if I switch over to a browser that's not Firefox-based, their date stuff will work better. But nope. Same exact issue. Tell me how I'm screwing up by not refreshing again. I dare you. There are math.floor, math.random times 4 R's in the word strawberry. I don't believe Claude made the Claude UI because Claude isn't that bad at making UI. I'm just impressed, okay? And by impressed, I mean depressed. Like, why is T3 Chat the only good AI chat UI? Okay, it's really good at counting the number of letters in words. Yeah, this is one of those model drops that's main impact is it's made me significantly more skeptical of benchmarks and not much else. I don't think I'll be using this for anything. Obviously, we're offering it in T3 Chat now. If you want to go try it out yourself, all pro tier users now have access. If you want to see if it's better at counting the letters in your weird words, awesome. But if you want to use it for other things, I don't think I would recommend it. Yeah, this is an interesting release. I think Qwen's strongest use case is still being distilled by other smarter models to get it to gaslight itself less. But for now, yeah, I'm skeptical. I don't think I would recommend this model in its current state to a whole lot of people. Let me know in the comments if I'm entirely off base here, if you have some really compelling examples of it being super smart. Check on the Qwen chat platform. Should work great. I'm going to go insane. Yeah. Now I see why my connects were asking me how I felt about this model. Because once you use it, the only way to feel seems to be weird. Let me know what you guys think. Are you tired of all the model hype? Is this exciting? Otherwise, did I totally miss the mark here? Let me know. And until next time, peace, nerds.